Hey, good afternoon, guys. Coming to you from Florida again. So I wanted to do kind of a follow-up with our relocating to Florida uh, information that we've provided so far. So giving you some of the criteria that we had matters because where you go or where you relocate to has to be something that fits for you and your lifestyle. So obviously Florida is, I think, in the top 3 or 4 states to relocate and retire to. Texas is one. Arizona is is up there. Um, a lot of the southern states, and I think there's pretty good reason for that. One, the weather's amazing most of the time. Yeah, we have some sweltering months here. July, August, September can be pretty brutal. Highs and humidities in the 95s and in the low 100s. But the rest of the year, pretty darn good. I'm down here right now. It's going to be 84 today, which is warm even for Florida for the middle end of February. But normal temps this time of year would be around 72 and the lows in the upper 50s. So the fact that we're having a few days of heat is everybody's welcome or excited about that. I can show you where I'm sitting poolside just to get outside and enjoy the weather because northern Illinois is getting 3 and 5 inches of snow, and I'm glad not to be there right now. So we had a few criteria specifically for our purposes because we had more than just one reason to want to come to Florida. One was to relocate because we wanted to retire here, and we knew that for years. It was always the plan. My daughter goes to college down here. With what she's going to study with marine biology, she's going to need to work in a coastal state for the most part. That's where most of the opportunities are. So we figured if nothing else, we can relocate to help her out. We were going to come anyway. So part of the reason we came now, though, is because we could get my daughter off campus if we stayed within 30-mile limit of the school. It didn't, and it can be 30 miles by the crow flies, but it had to be within a 30-mile limit of the school. So that was one of our criteria. The second one, it had to be in a decent school district. My wife is a teacher. She was going to teach public down here. She would never do that in Illinois. That was one of the reasons Florida was on the list too, because of the conservative ideologies that are in the state. We are conservative Christian, so my wife taught private school in northern Illinois, and she would not teach public school in Illinois because of their not so great policies. I'll just leave it at that because this is not a political channel. However, I'm not afraid to tell you that we are conservatives, and that's one of the reasons we came to Florida. So it had to be close to wherever she would work in a good school district within the 30 miles. And then we had a budget. We figured if we could stay within what we were spending for our house in Illinois on a place in Florida, that would still fall within the budget, well within the budget. And we found something in budget that was comparable as far as expenses go. And then we also wanted to be as close to the school that Michelle, my wife, was going to work at if we could find it. And I can tell you that all of these things came together in a snap. Once we kind of said, yep, we're going to do this, let's make a commitment to it, and then put it to prayer and kind of let go and let God take his hand in it. Within weeks, my wife had an offer. The offer was in the area we wanted to live. And that area was within the 30 miles of my daughter's school, and the job, the school she's going to work at, was less than 3 miles down the road. And the apartment complex that we had picked, which was gated and has everything you would need, is not as big as some of the other ones, which is why we chose it, had an opening. And I mean, it was literally one of those. And then magically, or by the grace of God, within a week we had an offer on the house to sell for cash value within 30-day closing. So that kind of tied it up for us right there. So just to kind of run that through for you, my wife had to finish her teaching school year in May of 2024, and we had to pack up her classroom completely because she was not going to be back. We had to pack up our entire house, which was 3,000 square foot, give or take, worth of furniture and things. And we narrowed that all down to a 25-foot truck. I said, we are not going to make 2 trips. We're going to make 1 trip, and we're going to take, if it does not fit in the truck and cannot travel safely, it is not going. And my wife, in a matter of 3 weeks, literally went through everything that we hadn't already done and used her amazing organizational skills to break that house down to fitting inside of a 25-foot truck. The truck run us about $3,000 to bring it down here, drive it, and leave it. A lot of times we found with some of the moving companies, the trucks are local only rent. I'm not affiliated, so I'm just going to say that up front, but I would recommend using Penske. They were great to us. They threw in things, they added, they gave us a different day. We had to switch a few things up, and they were very accommodating. So Penske was great, and we could drive it down here, leave it somewhere else, and drop it off. And Home Depot is affiliated with Penske rentals and drop-offs. So we literally dropped off the truck after we unloaded and unpacked and dropped it at the Home Depot not a mile down the road, and we were done. He walked through it, he was clean, he was great, and it was over. So our housing budget, we wanted at least 2 bedrooms. We had to have something that was pet friendly because we were bringing our dog down here at the time. He's a Great Dane, so we brought him down. This place that we found didn't have a size limit. They just had to be, they could only be certain dog breeds, and they had to be housebroke, etc. Downside of living with a dog in an apartment is you have to take the dog outside, and you have to walk out, and you have to pick up your business, where back home we would hook him up off the deck, and he would run and do his thing and come back and wait at the door for us. So it had to be walked. But this place was willing and able to take him, and they were great about it. The other thing was we wanted to have a budget that was comparable to what we were paying for at home, like I mentioned. So we found something that was right in the ballpark of our $2,000. Yes, it's a lot of money for rent. It's not a whole lot better in Northern Illinois right now because prices are going up. But down here, to find a 2-bedroom, 1,100 square foot, 2-bath, decent size, in a gated community with all the amenities, $2,000 was a great deal. And actually, we got it for less than that. It's a little over $1,900 a month. By the time you add in the garbage services and our water bill, it gets close to $2,000. We threw in fiber optic for network, for internet, and we're right around $2,100 a month all in. And I was paying at least that at home. Plus, that didn't include any of the maintenance issues, any of the upkeep. That was just, my $1,300 house payment, our $600 $600 a month in taxes. Insurance was $300 a month, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It adds up very quickly. So down here we wanted to get within that price range. Now, some of the offsetting benefits was when my wife came from a private school to a public school in Florida, she got a $25,000 pay increase. That offset a lot of the costs. Taking my daughter off campus offset her cost, which right now is my cost, of about $22,000 a year for getting her off campus. So yeah, we pay more for gas to get her back and forth, but we had a net gain there. Plus, we were able to sell the house and get out from under it and take our proceeds and go. One of the other upsides that I kind of touched on in the last video about Florida when we relocated is it is a income-free, or state income-free. That was one of the plus sides of living in Florida, is you don't pay state income taxes. So not only did my wife get a bigger raise, but she doesn't pay taxes on in Illinois or in Florida for the money she earns here. When I come down on my on my pension, I wanted to pay state taxes on my pension, only federal. So that's another reason we wanted to relocate. And there's plenty of states that have that available, so you can do your diligence. You don't have to come to sweltering Florida if you don't want to be here. That's fine. But there are plenty of states that are very senior and retiree friendly. So that helped with a lot of those things. That helped us make a lot of those decisions. And like I said, we kind of had our heart in it to begin with. We weren't initially planning to do it this quickly, but since everything fell into place. You know, when your prayer gets answered, you have to say yes. That's kind of just the way it is. This is what you asked for. This is what I gave you, and you better take me up on it. And I think that's the way the Lord works, and I think that we took advantage of that because He gave us everything that we prayed for, and would come from the situation that it did. Right now, we just pray for the patients to be separated for the next year, plus a few months that I have left to put in up in Northern Illinois. We prayed, now my daughter's going to graduate in May. We pray that she finds a great job and can stay close to home for now so that she can stay with us and offset her costs and try to get on her feet. And if we're looking into different locations, different school districts if need be, to help accommodate her for a little bit. We're not going to move over and over again, but you do what you can for your kids, and that's kind of what we're trying to do. My son's in a pretty good position since he's got a good job where I work, and he's doing well up there and will do very well in the future as he stays. So all those are the upsides that we chose Florida for. There are obviously negatives to every place you go. Florida, the negative is obviously is hurricanes. We had 3 major hurricanes hit in the area last season. Milton canceled one of my flights and trips down. The other ones kind of skirted by and didn't do much damage. Of course, the weather can be overbearing and very hot and humid at times. That's something you have to consider. So if you want to be a snowbird and come here off season, I would highly recommend that. If the situations were better, we would have probably bought and snowbirded for a while as we finished up the year. But with my wife teaching, snowbird season's the same time she has to be at work for teaching. So while she's doing that, we're kind of bound by the constraints of her schedule a little bit. So that's definitely a plus. But again, the weather is a plus and a minus. There's downsides to it as well. Of course, you have to worry about critters down here. There's alligators. There's a lot of geckos. There are cockroaches. We don't have any. This place has a program that they spray and all that stuff and take care of that's part of the rent you pay is pest maintenance. But you have to think about that. The drivers down here are nuts. That may be a separate video in itself, just to talk more about Florida in general. But this is a channel about prepping for retirement, so I want to keep it on a topic because I want you to think about, can I live with these things that are the negatives of the area before you make a decision if that's where you want to go. We are very big enthusiasts of the theme parks, Universal Studios in particular. We have been season passes for 5-6 years, so we come down often just because of that. We just recently became season passes for Busch Garden, which included SeaWorld, Aquatica, Discovery Cove, Adventure Island, all the things that are it includes 11 different parks. Not all of them are in Florida, but the pass we bought gave us guest passes, which can accommodate then when friends and family want to come down and visit. When my son and his wife come down with the baby, we can take them to SeaWorld, or we can take them to Busch Gardens, and etc. So that was one of the reasons we chose that pass. We are not supporters of the House of Mouse right now because of our beliefs and because of, again, this is not about politics, but it is about what you believe in and what you respect and what you want to support. So we do not support them currently. And there's a lot of things that would have to change for that to change for us, but that's okay because there is plenty to do in Florida without having to go to the House of Mouse. I will just leave it at that. Like I said, one of the things we try to do every weekend that I'm here is to do one of the things we love to do in Florida, which is either enjoy the sun or go to the beach or pool or the theme parks, things we've done all the time, the reasons we wanted to come here. And then secondly, we try to find a new thing to do every weekend or every other visit. We kind of swap it around depending. You can't come down on a mini vacation, a 3-day weekend, and spend like you're on vacation, because we live here and we have bills to pay still. So we're not actually here on vacation, but we try to do the things and find the new places to go to while we're here that make Florida enjoyable for us. And you can mix that up and do that in any state you're going to go to. And then, of course, like I said, the drivers are nuts. There are a lot of tourists here. As I walked through our apartment complex today, it's probably 50-50 between Florida license plates and plates from other states. Some of the other things that you need to consider if you're going to relocate to any state is, and we are dealing with this now, is transferring titles for vehicles so that you can get plates for that state. Transferring insurance, car insurance. Florida is very specific that you have to use an insurance company that is bound in Florida specifically. You can't just say yada yada insurance. If they don't have an office in Florida that says we covers Florida drivers, you won't get covered. And that's the same with insurance for homeowners and renters insurance too. You have to make sure that the insurance company that you want to use actually covers your area. A lot of that's based on zip code, or it's based on water zones, things that could be affected by hurricanes. So that's another thing that we're dealing with. This year we have to do our taxes differently because Illinois we have income tax, state income tax. Florida does not. So I have to split my wife's wages and split our filings for Illinois. And we can file our federal together, but we have to split off her Illinois just to make it easier for me and for them, because we don't want them coming back for taxes they think we owe based on her Florida income. So just a lot of things to consider before you just up and move. It'd be nice if you could just do that, but that's there is some planning involved. So I hope some of these things are giving you some tips and ideas of what we had to go through and think about. I know it's a lot of things covered here today. It's not very specific, but this is more of a kind of an about me too, and how we got to this point and why we got here, and then some of the hardships. I wouldn't even call them that, but some of the obstacles we had to overcome to get here. And since then, we love being here. Just talked to my wife today, and she said, I don't miss Northern Illinois at all, which is a great thing. So I'm really excited to be here. I love coming down for her visits every time, and she does not miss having to deal with snow and cold. So all great things and all great reasons to relocate any place with better climate, better temperatures for you. So something to think about. Anyway, I just want to say, like the video if you like the content. I appreciate your comments. I've been trying to reach out and remember that I can work full time. I'm shooting ahead a little bit for videos because we have family things planned, and I want to be consistent with my content because I'm trying to develop my creative habit of being consistent and just trying to put stuff out there and help you folks as you go along. I appreciate your likes and your comments and your subscribers, and hopefully we'll have another video soon about upgraded subscriber amount, break a new number. That'd be great. So anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.